We're living through a time that is so unhinged and so insane that we're facing forces that are so diabolical that they don't mind denouncing the Republican nominee for president as being the source of violence when he's the victim of that violence. And there's so many lies swirling around, so much nonsense. It's hard to ignore it, isn't it? I'm going to ignore it for a few days. Today's my last day before heading off to a little vacation for a few days. My friends Joey Hudson and Mark Davis will be filling in. Mark guest hosting for the first time on Friday. Joey will be in the seat tomorrow and Thursday as I sit by a pool and read a book and drink a Diet Coke and recharge my batteries because I'm tired. I really am. I know you are too. I hear it. If I'm feeling it, I know you are as well. The constant frenzy, and that's what it feels like. It's a frenzy that we're all witnessing. Tom Elliott is from an organization called Grabian, where we provide a lot of clips for you when we play them on Salem News Channel and on this show. And this is what Tom wrote. He posted this on X, and I thought it was so profound. He explains, because Grabian has the benefit of monitoring all the networks, all the cable news channels, all the on-air programming like ours. And this is what Tom writes from Grabian, how the fake news sausage is made. And this was really brilliant. Number one, Trump and Vance highlight stories that are embarrassing to Kamala Harris. Number two, anonymous bomb threats and KKK flyers mysteriously appear, undermining Trump and Vance. Number three, media flood the zone. Number four, bomb threats revealed as a foreign hoax, likely orchestrated by anti-Trump apparatchiks. And number five, the media keep flooding the zone with the original fake news anyway. You know that bomb threats phoned into Springfield, Ohio's hospitals is fake news, right? Have you heard that yet? I'll bet you haven't unless you tune into this show. If you're not experiencing this show, you might not know this. Here was the governor of Ohio yesterday confirming that the bomb threats that CNN and MSNBC and everybody was blaming on Trump, you've incited people to threaten the good people of Springfield, Ohio with having somebody send in bomb threats to the hospitals and the schools. There are 33 of them. Here's what the Ohio governor said about the bomb threats.
At least 33 separate bomb threats, each one of which has been responded to, and each one of whom has been found as a hoax. So 33 threats, 33 hoax. I want to make that very, very clear. None of these had any validity at all. We know that people are very, very concerned, and we have taken some actions, and in a moment I'll let Andy Wilson go into more detail. But we've moved resources into Springfield. So I want to say to the parents in Springfield, these hoaxes, these threats have all been hoaxes. None of them have panned out. We have people, unfortunately, overseas who are taking these actions. Some of them are coming from one particular country. We think that this is, one more opportunity to mess with the United States.
Now, Tom Elliott chronicles how the state-run media works. This is the propaganda media. These are statistics. The corporate media, as he points out, spent at least 350 hours circulating the bomb threats story. DeWine announced last night that the bomb threats were all hoaxes. And yet, as of a few hours ago, only 3 hours have been spent announcing the hoax. Now think about that. 350 hours of propaganda media regurgitating the fake news, the hoax that legitimate bomb threats were called in to hospitals in Springfield, Ohio. The governor confirms they were all fake. They were hoaxes from some country, some foreign country, likely an anti-Trump attempt. So far, 3 hours spent in total of all in the aggregate announcing the fake news. This is how it works. As Tom wrote, this is how the fake news sausage gets made. Look at the debate where Kamala Harris stood up there and lied through her teeth. Remember the great video clip we shared with you where there were soldiers stationed, likely in Iraq, watching the debate? She stood up there and lied and said they're taking credit with Joe Biden. There's no soldier in any active military zone anywhere right now in the world. And the camera panned out, and the young man in the military uniform says, "Well, where the blank are we?" And they all just laughed at her for the lie. No fact-checking done by these hacks, David Muir and Lindsay Davis. In fact, Lindsay Davis gave an interview where she confirmed that they were ready to just fact-check Trump and they had no intention of fact-checking Kamala. Well, they're fact-checking now. Days and days after the debate, here was Martha Raddatz from ABC, the host of the debate, getting around to fact-checking one of Kamala's many whoppers.
I want to ask you about her comments about the military. She said during the debate this about the U.S. military. Let's listen.
As of today, there is not one member of the United States military who is in active duty in a combat zone in any war zone around the world, the first time this century.
Our fact checkers found that to be false, and I have a lot of experience in that area as well. There are currently 900 U.S. military personnel in Syria, 2,500 U.S. troops in Iraq. All have been under regular threat from drones and missiles for months. We also have action in the Red Sea. We also, every single day, the Navy SEALs, Delta Forces, special operators can be part of any sort of deadly raid. So why would she make that claim?
Well, I think what's important here, Martha, is that Kamala Harris, in contrast to Donald Trump, demonstrated herself to be commander-in-chief. We are in a world where there are all sorts of conflicts, and it's all the more reason we need somebody who's serious and who supports the military. And just remember,
but Governor, excuse me, but she said there is not one member of the United States military who is in active duty in a combat zone. That is not true. You say she demonstrated her ability to be commander-in-chief, but did she not know?
The answer from Governor Maura Healey, the Massachusetts governor, was insane. Did you hear her? She basically was agreeing with Trump. Well, we've got people in harm's way all over the world. Wait a minute. Hey, dummy, you were just asked, why did your gal, Kamala, lie and say that no soldier is in harm's way? Why did she lie? That's like, Governor Healey, what is the economic policy of Kamala Harris in regards to home ownership? Well, I had chocolate ice cream last night with some syrup on top. These people are nuts. They got nothing. Kamala Harris has nothing. Look, that nonsensical answer, the example of ice cream, that's kind of what she says. What are you going to do for the American people? I was raised in a middle-class household. She's got nothing but memorized talking points. She's a disaster. In fact, the polls are reflecting that. Let's take a little stroll down the polling lane, shall we? Trump has now regained the lead in the Real Clear Politics, no toss-ups, electoral college map, showing him taking 281 electoral college votes to her 257. The Nate Silver electoral map, oh my gosh, it's a slam dunk. He wins all the battleground states. The Trafalgar Group and Insider Advantage polling comes out. Pennsylvania, Trump up by 2. North Carolina, Trump up by 2.4. Arizona, Trump up 1.6. Georgia, Trump 1.7. Now, you could say all day long, well, these polls. But the truth of the matter is, he was losing in all of these same categories and all of the same pollsters in 2020 at this stage of the game. He is light years ahead of where he was in 2020. The man's going to win. A reporter for CBS, check this out. A CBS reporter goes into a bunch of diners and restaurants in Nevada, and another important state for Trump, right? Check out what this reporter says to the anchors on CBS, the CBS morning show today. This is delicious.
We had so much fun. But what was really incredible is in every single restaurant of the people willing to talk to us, we could only find one Harris supporter in every restaurant. And we left no stone unturned. I approached every single person.
We left no stone unturned. We tried. We tried to find more than one. Only one in every restaurant. The rest were Trump supporters. Man's going to win. We just have to stay strong. We have to stay faithful. We got to keep our heads down. And we got to vote. This is National Voter Registration Day. Are you registered to vote? You better check it, and you better make sure 10 of your friends are registered too.